Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a simulated snuff film from 1985. Oh, joy. The movie is a rather infamous film, and the title is Guinea Pig. Now, I totally understand that the DVD cover here also says Devil's Experiment, but I don't know where the fuck that is coming from. I've done a little bit of research in hopes of finding out where the fuck that title came from, and apparently Unearthed Films just wanted to slap it on there for the sake of slapping it on there. I don't fucking know. The movie itself is simply called Guinea Pig, and that's what I'm going to call it. The DVD also has another entry in the series, but I'm not going to cover that one tonight. I'm just watching the first one, which is also going to be the shortest film I have ever covered in this series. Guinea Pig clocks in at 42 minutes 53 seconds. Yeah, guys, we are talking a 43-minute film. This thing is shorter than Cosplayers the movie, which I believe was the shortest at 45 minutes. So we have something new here. This is going to be the shortest film I've ever covered. You guys can tell I'm almost trying to pad out the video. I do know a little bit of history about this. Both Guinea Pig and its first sequel, which was called Flowers of Flesh and Blood, which I do hope to cover at some point, were investigated by the FBI because people thought they were actual snuff films, which tells me that there must be something absolutely amazing here in terms of special effects quality. And I'm about to find out. Why? Because, damn it, I am psyched. I have waited years to watch one of these goddamn films, and the fact that I get to start with the very first one, that makes me even happier. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Guinea Pig. Okay, I kind of sort of like how they feel the need to actually define what a, guinea pig is. I actually think that's kind of a creative little thing. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. It's kind of minor, but damn it, that is a really nice fucking touch, man. Not quite sure if you guys can hear this, but there's some slight ominous music playing here. It's really setting an awesome fucking mood, man. It's really setting up for this thing to probably be fucking creepy as shit. I'm getting really fucking psyched. Alright, guys, I know I've covered a couple of simulated snuff films in the past, and I've had complaints. This thing already has points over fucking August Underground's Mordum. Do you want to know why? Because this fucking woman is being fucking beaten and she's not fucking smiling. I'm happy to see that. That is a huge goddamn improvement. Alright, guys. Right now, our three, attackers are now just verbally abusing and kicking our victim. I'm going to tell you, this honestly is nowhere near as brutal as when they were smacking her and beating her with a bag of coins. Just saying. I think I actually would have started with kicking her first and then moved on to the smacking and using the bag of coins. But hey, then again, I also am just a sick fucker. I think maybe that's why I'm bitching. I think maybe that's why I'm bitching about the order with which they're doing these things. Wait a minute. Wait a second. So we had a section which was just called Claw. I was kind of expecting something a little bit nastier. Instead, they just take essentially like a small wrench and they're just like twisting on her skin. Mind you, they were not twisting enough to break the fucking skin, just basically enough to make her whimper a little. I honestly feel a little bit cheated. I guess I actually wanted to see, claws being used. I don't know. Maybe I am just a bit of a sick fuck. Alright. Out of all of the tortures which have been seen in this film so far, this one here is probably the weakest, which is they've tied a set of headphones to her head and they're playing really irritatingly loud noise. You guys can kind of hear a little bit of that. Mind you, the camera's kind of sort of close to her, so it's supposed to sort of let you imagine exactly how loud it is when the fucking things are cupped right up against your ears. But compared to everything else I've seen so far, this one here is just kind of weak, you know what I mean? Ugh! Fuck! Okay. That was good and disgusting. They just ripped off one of her fingernails with the fucking wrench they used to twist on her skin earlier. Oh, shit, that was nasty. I actually feel like I'm going to be sick, guys. Wow. Okay, now this one I don't totally get. Now, yes, guys, this whole thing is supposed to be like three guys torturing a woman and showing all of the psychological damages that it causes. Well, they have her strapped to a bed. She's totally unconscious. Now they're just throwing animal like guts at her. We're going to assume those are supposed to be animal guts. So I don't quite see what this is doing outside of just showing the guts like sliding around her body and like landing on the like garbage bag covered bed. I mean, I just don't totally understand this part. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. Oh my god. You guys have no idea how nasty this is. Oh shit. They just took like a needle, they like jammed it like right into one end of her eye, came right out the... Wow. I can't even finish describing it. I really feel like I'm gonna be sick, guys. Wow. No movie's ever fucking accomplished that. Holy fuck. Well, guys, that was Guinea Pig. Holy shit. I'm gonna shut this off now. Just because... Just... Holy fuck. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this right now. In the history of reaction and review, at least as far as memory serves, I've covered one other simulated snuff film. And that was August Underground's Mordum. I'm going to be drawing a lot of comparisons between Mordum and Guinea Pig, just because we kind of have to have some kind of like a measuring stick here. Okay? First of all, I want to talk about the writing. I do not believe that there was a proper script for Guinea Pig. A proper script is in, one where... I mean, there may have been like a shooting script where they were, going and perfecting angles, but I don't think that they worked in anything like dialogue, motivation, or any of that. I really have a feeling all of that was totally improv on site, and they just had multiple cameras running so that way they could splice it all together, but they wanted to make certain that they got a couple of angles right. So... yeah, this thing I really can't talk about writing too much because there's not much here. There really is no story here besides three guys are horribly torturing a woman in some of the most psychologically devastating ways possible, which is far more chilling than slowly torturing them with fucking like knives and shit. They literally cut her once. In the entire film, they cut her one time. That's like right on her hand, like right along here, and then they smash her hand in with a fucking sledgehammer. Beyond that, as well as the thing with the fucking like needle and the eye, which is still one of the nastiest fucking things I've ever seen. My stomach is still churning a little bit just because of that. I really do feel like I'm going to be sick just thinking about it. I'm going to walk away from that one. The only other thing which they do, which is like truly like physically imposing, is they burn her with hot cooking oil. So everything here is far, far more psychological torture than it is physical torture. And it works. You are going to feel unnerved. You are going to feel your body twitch. It's a very, very visceral film. And I'm not sure exactly how much of that was in the writing. Now, I normally talk about dialogue whenever I talk about writing, but again, I don't think that there was any dialogue here. I really believe it was all fucking improv. And to compare this to August Underground's Mordum, Guinea Pig wins hands down. Partially because, first of all, dialogue is at a minimum. The dialogue is not trying to drive the film like Mordum, which is a good thing. Second of all, what dialogue is here is not riddled with friggin' curse words. So we have three people torturing a single woman. Not a single one of them is either pitching a fit like a child or swearing like a foul-mouthed child. So Guinea Pig wins simply because it was more mature with this subject. And I kind of enjoyed that. Okay? And also just in terms of writing, pacing, layout, the setup, Guinea Pig wins. Hands down. Because August Underground's Mordum was trying to go for a found footage style, so it was trying to mix snuff film with Blair Witch, and it didn't work. Partially because the acting, the pacing, the editing, it was all shit. Guinea Pig is trying to go as this tape, which is secretly passed from person to person, with this fucking warning put on it by somebody, because there is a warning and a small explanation at the very start, which looks like it was put on by somebody who was handed this tape and decided to pass it along with that warning. It is a really cool thing. It kind of helps add to the whole urban fucking legend of snuff film. This thing really does feel like that kind of a tape which you would just secretly like pass off from person to person. Mordum, it just basically looks like somebody just took their fucking home movies and just said, "Here, watch this." So yeah, Guinea Pig just in overall feel wins. Now, I want to talk about effects. I've mentioned how they tortured her with the fucking sledgehammer and burning her with oil. I mentioned earlier the thing with the fucking wrench and they're like twisting her skin. I've mentioned a lot of this, and I would like to say that in terms of makeup effects, because really that is all that's here is just makeup effects. Makeup effects, there's maybe only about two fucking there's like two effects which have to do with prosthetics, and that's it. So in terms of what's here, it's all very, very good, because the first thing you see is them smacking her with their hand and then beating her in the face with a bag of coins, and she gets this big dark fucking bruise because they kept slapping her in the same spot, and that bruise gets darker and darker with every passing test, and as days pass, the bruise begins to yellow as if it's healing. So they actually went to all the work of doing that. When they burn her arm with fucking cooking oil, it starts off just like any other burn. It is just this bright shade of pink, and then slowly as they keep on going back to it, the skin is blistering, and the blisters are popping, and sores are forming. It looks very, very realistic. It's very disgusting to see. And then we have Mordum, which was just, we are just going to just carve them up. Yay, happy times, and our victims are going to giggle as we're fucking smacking them around, screaming at them, raping them, and killing them. Here, this woman looks totally terrified. But again, that sort of goes more into acting than fucking effects, but I kind of wanted to cover that. Now, effects here look really good, especially by 1985 standards. I can totally see why people thought this thing was an actual snuff film. That is how realistic the makeup is here. That is how realistic the fucking effects are. Except for the bit with the hand and the sledgehammer. Because you see, it's just a close-up of the hand from like here to here. And then you see the sledgehammer like come like down. You would almost expect like capillaries to be fucking like bursted and perhaps maybe like the bones to be like pressed in. Instead, it's just a thick rubber hand, and it just starts to like flop around, and there really is no feeling of realism there. It's just basically this fucking like rubber hand which just has like a little bit of blood here because they cut her there. And it just sort of, like flops around. There is absolutely no fucking realism there. That is the one effect in the film that is poorly done. Everything else is absolutely amazing and makes up for it. So, Yeah, we have that. Acting. Well, guys, we have a cast of 4 people. The only person who's genuinely expected to act is the woman. She has to constantly seem as if she's in physical pain. She is being psychologically devastated. She is absolutely terrified. She has to show all of these emotions, and she does it flawlessly. Again, that is why I can understand Guinea Pig being seen as an actual snuff film when it first came out. That is how realistic her acting is. Then we go over to Mordum. We had victims smiling and giggling as they were being tortured. Guinea Pig wins in acting just off of that alone. But then we have our 3 torturers. We have our 3 psychopaths who are filming this shit. And you can tell that all 3 of them, at least their characters, are fucking getting off to this. And that is what you want. You want to show that your fucking, captors are evil as shit, and they do it with almost no dialogue. Almost everything is fucking implied, and it works to a T. Cinematography. Again, this thing was supposed to look like one of those tapes you would make fucking copies of and then pass out to people. So it looks like a low-quality VHS tape. Mission accomplished. Alright? It still looks really, really good for a fucking low-end VHS, because, hey, I've watched a lot of low-end VHS tapes, and I've watched a lot of multi-fucking generational copies of things. This looks exactly like one of those, and it really does sort of harken back to those sorts of times. It works. August Underground's Mordum, well, it just sort of looks like somebody just took a fucking camera, they just filmed, like a bunch of shit, and they didn't bother with editing or making it fucking look, realistic or good. And really, this one here is kind of sort of a toss-up, because Mordum was going for a found footage look, and it worked. And Guinea Pig is looking more for one of those tapes which is just passed around and you're given a low-quality copy. It works. It works very, very well. Sound in this thing is almost a fucking non-issue, because everything is just basically the sound of them slapping her, the sound of her screaming, the sound of her kicking her, the sound of them burning her. It mainly is just the sounds of her suffering, because there's not much there. I will complain, though, about the sound of the sound of the guts being fucking thrown at her, because they don't sound like guts hitting a friggin' garbage bag covered table or hitting a body. It basically almost sounds like someone just took a bunch of water balloons and was whipping them at a wall. Everything has a very loud, audible splash, and it seems way out of place. So, all in all, could I possibly recommend Guinea Pig? Because I've been prattling on this one here for a while. This is probably one of my longer fucking reviews. At least it feels like it to me. Can I recommend Guinea Pig? Yes, but I can only recommend it if you know what you're getting into. Alright? You cannot go into this thing expecting a plot. You cannot go into this thing expecting acting. You cannot expect to go into this thing expecting character depth. None of that is here. This is the sort of thing you watch just out of morbid curiosity. And if you have that kind of morbid curiosity, you are going to go into this film and you're probably going to enjoy it at least a little bit. And that is only if you are able to enjoy the sight of people suffering and know for a fact that it's fake. Because, see, guys, again, I have watched the closest things that have been found to actual snuff films, which are things such as Three Guys, One Hammer and the Daniel Pearl execution. I've seen these. Those things make me fucking sick. Stuff like this I could actually see myself watching, because I know in the back of my mind it's all fake. It's all fantasy. I'm able to enjoy this. Real fucking shit sickens me. This, I don't mind. So, if you're really curious, that is the only way I can recommend this, is if you're curious. Go ahead and check it out. And if you buy it on DVD, it also comes with another entry in the series when they stopped trying to do simulated snuff and they tried to work in a story. I believe this is the fifth film in the series is bundled with this one, which is called the android of Notre Dame. I will cover that one at some point, but I just wanted to cover the first one now. And I kind of enjoyed it. It was definitely not as bad as I thought it was going to be in terms of gore, but it is certainly a memorable film, and it is going to stick with me for a long goddamn time. Now, Guinea Pig came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in is a guy who sent in a couple other films. His name is Zach, or Zachary, if you will. And he has a website that he wants me to promote. The website is sites.google.com/site/the literature of Zachary Hardy. Yes, I still have to write it down every single time. Now, Zach, I'm just going to call you Zach. I really hope that you don't mind. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough for this. I have wanted to see one of these Guinea Pig movies for years, and it didn't disappoint. Holy shit. That ending. I mean, okay, yeah, it has been a few minutes since I have seen it. I'm not as sick as I was at first, but it's still disturbing as shit. And I'm happy to have finally seen it. Now I need to go see the second one, which was called The Flowers of Flesh and Blood. And if I have to BitTorrent the fucking thing, I will. This thing has piqued my interest. I'm almost tempted to try to find the rest of the films in this series and give them all a watch. And thanks to you, I don't have to worry about getting the fifth one. I just need to worry about getting the other 4. Hooray! So, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.